Hey guys, so one of the things that I have always been asked several times, and I thought it was about time I do a video as we sit here together, just then and I, and driving to the office. So one of the things that for me is very, very important when people look at properties, knowing what you want to have. What do I mean with that? Well, do you know the must-haves, the maybes, and I don't want to have? So that's very important. But the other thing that is very important is to look at more than one property. Get to know as many properties as possible in your price range in the market that you are looking at. Why? You'll be surprised. One is because now you will understand the pricing better of the one that you selected, and you will become a better buyer by being able to compare the different properties and say, okay, I like this property and it's priced X, the other ones were priced Y, and I think I can do, based on the properties I looked at, I can ask for a price reduction based on those properties that I selected or viewed at. The other one that more than just ourselves suggest is live in the community that you want to buy. But before you live in one community, go check out several communities. Don't get stuck with the advice from the other expats that live in the community, why you should or why you shouldn't. Check it out yourself. That to me is paramount. I mean, if we had done based on our preliminary research, listen to everybody, come live in Canada, etc., I don't think we would have been happy. Based on what we ended up having is not a colonial home, a two-story home, and a home on a farm. To us, that was, when we started talking about the different properties we wanted to look at, that was not in our top 10 list. But when we start to narrow down our top 10 list, we noticed that where we were gravitating to was to have some land and to have a home that met certain parameters, like enough bedrooms so the kids could come over, enough land so we could produce our own food, and enough land to have dogs and maybe have some belly or some chickens, whatever that is. Now, if you're going to buy raw land, know that there is a lot of things you need to consider for raw land. I'm going to link a video I had done earlier where it discusses the particulars of land before you purchase. Okay, so you should look at the water, off runoff, and things like that. You know, does it have water access? What about electricity, etc.? But here's a question. Can I find a property for you that already has a house and that is the equal variables that you're looking for on the land? Meaning, you want to build a house. You want to build a house with 3 bedrooms, etc. But what if I can show you a property with the same amount of land, with the 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, etc., at a lesser cost to create that if you were to build it new? Okay, a lot of people feel that to build new is the way to go, and I have my reservations for many reasons. Okay, are you going to be here during the build? Will you be living close by? Will you have a chance to check it out? Do you speak Spanish? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, and I have seen new builds where I go, you don't know what's in it, so be careful. So that is one reason that I personally would not build new. Okay, now we have built new. We knew who we selected as our builder, very qualified, and we also, since we were close by, we were able to go to the property 3-4 times a week, which was very, very important. and we were able to make changes as the property was being built. Now, one thing that we also see quite a bit is people saying, you know, I have, let's say, $80,000 to $100,000. That's my top. Okay. So one of the things I've also seen is we're getting more and more people that wish they had more money. They don't have it. So financing can be negotiated in certain instances, not all of them, but in certain instances, property owners are willing to take half up front and get some payments of, we did one a few days ago that was payments in 3 months of the remaining, no interest, and we have seen up to 10 years, 50% up front, 10-year payments, but that was for a developer who just wanted to get rid of this house, and he was willing to negotiate a long-term payment schedule because it was okay for him. So there's a variety of possibilities, and what it comes down to is negotiating. Okay. Now, another thing that we have heard a lot of late is, well, you should hire a lawyer. Don't go with a real estate person, because the lawyer is the ultimate person that can help in the property purchase. I agree. The lawyer can help you at the end with the property purchase. But the lawyer certainly, in my experience, does not know anything about a house. He does not know about the characteristics of a house and how to evaluate one house from another. I would say that, you know, we have already, you know, last year was 40 plus closings. So that gives us a lot of experience knowing of the cost of, let's say, colonial homes versus land, and a attorney truly does not have that knowledge. Okay, I'm sorry, he doesn't or she doesn't. The attorney is good to look at the history of the property, to look at the escritura, how to write the agreement to make sure that everything goes well. So those are some of the points that I think are very critical when you purchase a property. Look at the property itself, look at a variety of properties. Go live in the neighborhood or close to it. Go check out a property at night. Go check it out during the day. And that all helps you to decide, is this the neighborhood? Is this the area I want to be at? So if you have any more questions, feel free to give us a call, drop us a note, and we will try to answer as many questions as we can as it relates to the purchase of a home here in Nicaragua. Take care. Thanks for watching. So there's one item that I forgot to add. One thing that is very, very important to talk to your agent as well as your attorney is possession. What do I mean with that? Well, remember that here there are no title companies, so the escrow is handled by the attorney. So one of the issues that we run in quite often is, how does possession going to be taken care of? Now, you could do an escrow service through one of the attorney offices here, but some of the buyers are not willing to pay for that escrow service, okay? Nor will the seller. So the alternative is to write a good contract that shows clearly how possession is given and taken by the buyer during the period that the wire is being transferred between the buyer and into the seller account. It has to have very clear language so both parties are satisfied. One, the seller is satisfied that payment has been made, and the buyer is satisfied that he or she has made payment and they send it already, and the seller is awaiting the settlement into his account. There are ways to do it, and again, we can help you with that. So keep that in mind as one of the things that you need to discuss, not only with your attorney, but also with your real estate agent. Okay? Thank you. And finally, one of the things that also needs to be discussed between the buyer and the seller and negotiated is the DGI, the payment of the transfer tax. Now, as I have said many, many times, it's negotiated. It's negotiated. Both parties need to sit down to understand the approximate cost of the transfer between A and B. Okay, what is the value and what will DGI state the value to be? Now I'm going to link a video I've done earlier, and that video is still very much up to date. There has been no more changes to the DGI transfer tax, and honestly, it's a must video that everybody who is buying real estate must watch. If you don't watch it and you run into trouble, c'est la vie. You know, you have been forewarned. I mean, there's so much information out there in the YouTube channels, etc. And at times I wonder if people take heed to the information that's out there and listen. I see a lot of people going to Facebook, to the expat groups, and ask for advice. The biggest problem I see with that, a lot of them have a preconceived opinion of don't use real estate agents, and that in itself should tell you a lot. Remember, most of them, when they sold their home, sold it through a real estate agent, and voila, they come to Nicaragua, and you should do it all by yourself. Really? In a market that has so many minefields, you want to do it on your own. Well, can you do it? Of course you can. Do you speak Spanish? No, you don't? Well, now you already have a headache. There are many things that you should watch for. One of the things that you will know that what we do is before we take any listing, we have gone through a fine-tooth comb through the property, through the documentations, through the legal information with our attorney. We have our own staff attorney to make sure that the property we're marketing is a good property, that there are no headaches or no minefields. I wonder how many expats that are on Facebook have done that, can advise a potential buyer what to do. You know, there's a lot of good info out there. Maybe I'm going too far with this, but buyer beware. Okay? Okay, enough said.